Welcome everybody to PinTech Live. We're going to be starting very shortly. Get comfy. We got some Squawk and Talk board work to do tonight, this afternoon. Welcome, Pin Daddy. Good afternoon, evening, Mark van der Guten. Hello, Tim Roth. Thanks for joining us. I know, you love my techno track. It's so sci-fi if you were in the club. At the rave. Hello, everybody. Hello, Kyle.
Hi.
Long time no see.
It really has been. It feels like a millennium.
Well, this is the official episode 76, where we are working on the part 2 of Vector Squawk and Talk.
That's right.
For all Bally games, right?
All the games that have the coolest speech.
From that generation.
Yeah. Yeah, every game from 8 Ball Deluxe forward that had speech, pretty much. Actually, I think every game that had speech, yeah, they never. If it didn't have speech, it used the cheap squeak, and if it did, they used this.
Cheap squeak. Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
There's a cheap squeak and a turbo cheap squeak. One of them is just like substantially cheaper, I guess.
Huh. That's wild. Do they look the same, or is the Squawk and Talk like bigger?
It's way bigger because it has all the voice. Processing stuff on it. It's
nice.
It's a really special board. I'm hoping that with a little bit more poking and prodding, we can figure out what the next step will be with it. So, cross my fingers. We'll see. I don't have high expectations. We might fail again, and hopefully we do fail, so we can learn more.
Awesome. Well, it's been I think, honestly, several months since we last touched Vector on this show. And we're trying to refresh our minds as well of where we're at. Kyle, can you give us kind of a rundown of why you have the board out, what we're working on, what progress you've made so far leading up to this point?
Yeah.
It's not the easiest request.
No, it took me a minute to remember what we were doing too, which is why I hate spending so much time away from projects sometimes. But this is, last time we worked on this game, we replaced all of the electrolytic capacitors on the board. And I think that was also an episode you were not here for, Emoto.
I wasn't here for the original, the first one.
Yeah, so we were missing, I didn't have my desoldering iron that I use here, so we did a little bit of damage, and I yanked a trace up and screwed a little bit up, but we were able to repair it, and we figured out that was okay. The repair I did was fine, and it's okay, but that's why you got to use the right tool. And then we fired the game up, and we realized that the Squawk and Talk wasn't booting up. So there's a diagnostic LED on the board that's supposed to flicker and then count like 6 flashes. And once you've achieved all 6 flashes, that would mean that the board has booted up. And we have a locked on LED. So right now, what we're trying to do is I'm referencing
Wiki?
Yeah, wait, I'm sorry. I just noticed on the screen, it doesn't look like the chat is working on the stream. Like the restream chat window's up, but...
I don't think anyone has said anything since I reactivated. Hold on.
Oh, you reactivated it? Okay, I didn't see that.
Well, no, it was not showing up. Let's try.
Okay.
Ooh, that's not good.
Oh, yeah, it's working now.
Yeah, we got a boo.
Okay. On which chat?
Oh, hey, Manu.
Hey. Manu, what's up, man?
On which chat? Yeah, on this chat right here.
The one above your... Nope,
if you guys saw last night, Kyle and Crystal and Josh from Transmission, they were all doing a fun gameplay stream with Total Nuclear Annihilation at Kyle's house. Yeah. The stream looked beautiful, by the way. Good job, y'all.
Thank you.
So we gotta do some adjusting.
Thanks to Josh for that super rad camera.
Hello, Mark. Both Marks. Yep, it's working. Thanks, y'all.
Cool. Yeah, sorry. That was like, I was like looking at it. I was like, wait, I see chat over there, but I don't see chat over there. Anywho.
So you were talking about PinWiki.
Yeah, so what we're using now is we're trying to get this board to boot up. And I'm using PinWiki because I don't remember off the top of my head like the correct order to do these things in. So what we are working on now is I am removing all of the chips that are not required for the program to boot up. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I've been working on it for just a teeny bit before the stream started, so I've done 1 or 2 steps already. So from what I gather on PinWiki, I believe Chris Heibler wrote a lot of the stuff for the Bally games, and he's insanely smart. The only thing that this computer needs to run is the processor, a PIA, which is a peripheral interface adapter. The processor does its own thing, and then it talks to the PIA to then go and do stuff. That's as simple as I'm going to make it. And then we've got 1 ROM. This game does have 4 ROMs, but it only needs 1 ROM to actually boot the program. So on this ROM is most likely, maybe some speech or sound information, and along with the other 3, they store like collectively the entire bit of sound on this computer. But on this ROM here, U5 are the instructions to actually boot up the program, right? Like the operating system. So that is what we have done. I've reduced it to U5, a PIA, and a processor. Before now, I had tried booting it up like this. It did not solve my problem. I then went and I replaced a PIA from a known working game, and that did not solve my problem. I have now replaced the 6802 processor, and that has not solved my problem. So there's a few things I want to do. On PinWiki, Emoto, will you drop that link in just in case people want to watch?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or just look. It's a really good, thorough troubleshooting guide. At this point, I think really the better way to do this, I pulled this PIA from a modern like reproduction Bally computer, one of Andrew Spittler's wonderful computers he sells. His website, people always call it a Weebly computer, but Weebly is a web hosting service. So his website is nvram.weebly.com. So it's not Weebly. Weebly is a web host. Anyways, his computers don't run on like a big proprietary chip like the Altex do. So his computers still run on a 6800 processor and 2 PIAs. So anyways.
What's up, Phil?
Hey, Phil. So
Hey,
what I
so
would recommend though.
I can hear myself really well on your speaker. I don't know if anyone else is picking up on that echo.
Here,
Maybe it's just coming to me to Zoom, but maybe you want to turn me down a little.
yeah, I can turn you down a bit.
Yeah, we
So
have so many great people in the chat. It's been so long since I've been on PinTech Live. I've missed all of y'all.
we
And
miss
it's
you.
lit, Pinball. I wore your shirt on while shooting the action figure adventure series season 2
Oh,
on
that's cool.
Amazon. So you'll probably see that shirt pop up on that show at some point.
That rules.
Okay.
Everyone says no
Little
echo,
pinball
so
shout out.
it's something weird on our side. Whatever. So what I would recommend is if you were at this point while working on
It's
your
my
Squawk
son.
and Talk, as long as your computer is booting up, your actual computer, the MPU, and as long as and if it's booting up and showing signs of life, like displays and lights, either one of those PIAs is probably good. But what I would recommend if you don't have a ton of games to yank parts out of would be to remove one of the PIAs from your game MPU and pop that into this Squawk and Talk. So I had another one, so I stole it. I probably will poach one off because I know that those work. I know that this one works, but sometimes using new and old hardware, I don't know. I like to try everything. Anyways, I'm going to put the original
you do,
hardware
Mama.
in here, back in here.
What does PIA stand for?
Peripheral interface adapter. The
And
computer,
what does it do exactly?
the processor can't really do anything. It can just kind of like read instructions and send out a little bit of info. But back in the day, you had to have something else between the processor and things you wanted it to do, and that's what a PIA did.
Nice.
They're used in like everything. Another note, a 6808 and a 6802 are essentially the same processor. A 6808, I believe, has built-in RAM. And if the RAM that is built into this processor fails, they brand it as a 6802. So generally, you can use a 6802 in a board. I'm sorry, wait, hold on. You can use a 6808 in a board for that uses a 6802 90% of the time, but you can't do it the other way. If the board was designed to use the internal RAM on the 6808, you can't use another processor without that. Anyways, that's just a little bit of info here. But
Yeah,
I would like to get another 6808 that I know works and pop it in here, and I'm sure there's a game in here that I could yank something from.
Does it say 6808 on the actual chip? Is that how you know?
Yeah, so
Or
let's
is
look
it-
at this one really quick. I took this out of a Williams Road Kings.
Should focus. Come on.
So
there
it
we go.
says
Nice.
MC6802P. The other bit of information is like a date
Oh,
code
gotcha.
and stuff. So
Nice.
sometimes all the other
Camera's
letters
just
on a
breathing.
chip do make a difference,
Oh,
but
God.
in this case, I know this is fine. So
Nice.
I think I need to find wherever my logic probe is. Here it is. And what we need to do now is we need to ensure, and again, otherwise, like replacing chips is the best way to figure out if things are working or not. But since I put a 6802 that I know is working in place here and we're getting the same result, we need to use a tool to help us understand better, like if that processor is working. And the one thing to figure out if the processor is working is if it is resetting. So I'm going to put this board back in. I'm really quick going to figure out where the 5-volt test point is on this board. They're not marked, which is kind of annoying. But what we're going to do is I'm going to use my logic probe here, and we're going to watch it reset. A logic probe is basically a voltmeter, kind of a glorified voltmeter, but using its systems of flashes on some little LEDs it has will allow us to see things quicker than our voltmeters could respond. So when a processor resets, it needs to reset to like know that it can control what it's trying to control. If a processor isn't running right, it can just run ARI and like fire all your solenoids on at one time and blow up your pinball machine. So there's like a built-in check where it will like reference voltages, and if it's like, hey, I'm okay, it resets. And you'll notice a signal on one of those pins go low to high. Low being not 5 volts and high being 5 volts. So I'm not an electronics engineer, and I'm not going to pretend to know most of what I'm talking about. I just know enough to know to figure out how to fix stuff. But there is a pin on the processor that measures reset. And then there's other things on the computer, the Squawk and Talk being the computer that says, hey, it reset. Okay, read the program, let's go. You can read all about this on PinWiki. It's amazing. So right now I'm looking at my processor. I'm looking at the schematic for the Squawk and Talk. And I'm pretty sure pin 40 is reset. It is. So I know where to put the data probe, logic probe. But right now I'm looking for I'm just looking for 5 volts. Okay, test point 2. Test point 2 and test point 1 are 5 volts and ground. So I can put test point 1, the black lead on test point 1 rather. Here it is. And this is giving the logic probe something to reference, right? It needs a reference to figure out what low and high is, which is why we were putting it on 5 volts, because that's what this stuff runs on. Don't worry if this doesn't make sense. I am not explaining it very well. I'm trying to, but test point 2 is right here, so we've got 5 volts. Okay, I'm going to mount this sucker back in.
Oh, I just got to a new shot. It was so cool.
You got what?
Nothing.
Okay. And really quick, I'm going to plug that in. I don't need the speaker because that's not really going to tell us anything because we know it's not booting. I'm just going to, I checked for 5 volts again, just to remind myself what was going on. And let me get the handheld ready too. So I know we have 5 volts. I think it's like 4.97, but that is close enough to 5 volts to be 5 volts.
Oh, Go City Pinball said, nice gray face hoodie, Kyle.
Hey, thanks, man.
Mr. Baxter asked, has anyone happened to have any tips on how to get outsized slider pins on a brake caliber bracket? Oh, it's not even pinball. And then he says, I know it's not pinball. I like Ron Burgundy that.
I actually do know.
It out and...
Use heat.
Oh, okay.
Go get a torch, man. You gotta torch it up and get it hot. Metal contracts when it gets hot. So just go get a big butane torch and start torching that sucker.
See, there you go. Can learn all sorts of stuff on PinTech Live.
Yeah. Hey, I was a car and motorcycle mechanic for a long time too. I'm going to try to come back out to Savannah sometime in January. So I really hope that I can finally meet you, Ghost City Pinball.
Yeah.
But I did
Kyle loves it in Savannah, by the way. He's always raving about how it's the best city ever.
I'm addicted now, but I'm just really...
He's addicted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Metal expands. Wait, whatever. Okay,
Metal
so I powered
expands,
this thing
not
on.
Contracts. Leave it to Carrie Hardy to join the chat.
Thanks, Carrie.
Correct you. Gotta keep those facts straight.
So fire up the... So right now, I'm just checking, right? I do have 5 volts. Everything's good. The game boots up, so the MPU works. We knew that. So what I need to do now, this is the LED. It's locked on. So we're going to try and check and watch this thing reset.
We will not be at MagFest.
So right now, pin 1 is top left. So on this thing, it will go pin 1 to 20. And then you move over 1 to the right, and that's 21 to 40. So what I can do is if I put my probe on 12 volts, I should get, or 5 volts, I should get high. Okay, so I've got a high signal there. So what we can do is I could measure reset on this pin. Be very careful, don't short these things out. So I've got a high signal right now, but what we need to do is we need to watch the we need to watch the processor actually reset. We need to confirm that it's going low to high. So I'm going to bend over here, and I'm going to turn the game off. I'm going to gently rest my logic probe on pin 40. Can you all see it? Yeah, you kind of can. Let me move my thumb. Okay. So the processor is restarting. Do you see that?
I see the green light lit up on the board.
Let's watch it again.
And now it's off.
Well, watch what my thumb is on, right? The logic probe. So check this out.
Oh.
We're gonna fire it up. Low, high. Do you see that little LED change?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a signal that the processor is resetting. And that's good. That means that we can kind of rule out the processor being faulty at this point. So really quick, I am going to go back to my phone, and I'm going to read the next steps on PinWiki. So what we have written on PinWiki is, if the board still has a locked-on LED, the following things should be investigated. Now, I also am going to go back, and I'm going to replace a PIA from the computer with the one on the soundboard just to be mega thorough. But the next step here written on PinWiki is make sure that the reset on the CPU chip starts low briefly, then goes high. So with a logic probe, check pin 40 of U1. If the reset circuit does not go high, suspect these components. Those components are part of the reset circuit. So the computer has, gates and things to force the computer to reset somehow. But I digress. That's not our problem, right? We definitely have a processor that's restarting. So the next step says, next check for an active clock signal. With a logic probe, check pins 38 and 39 of U1. U1 is the processor. The clock signal is a small piece of quartz that then has juice fed into it, and it vibrates, and that is your clock frequency. So this is like a frequency of like a few megahertz, right? Or not even. It's probably like 0.1 megahertz, which is the vibration frequency. No, it's not. This one is 3.58 megahertz. So they have external clocks. Go read up on this if you find it interesting. But think about your computer, right? I have a 4 gigahertz a processor in my computer that has an internal clock along with all the other logic chips that sensor, whatever, don't worry about it. I need to stop talking about this stuff because I don't get it that good. Anyways, we're going to check for an active clock signal. So that should be, I think that's going to make the logic probe go flutter, like up, down, up, down, up, down. Both legs of the CPU should be pulsing. Some logic probes may not pulse. The clock voltage is rather low, okay? These legs go directly to the clock crystal, which is Y1 on the board. If these signals are not pulsing, suspect the crystal or its associated capacitors, C3 and C4, which are both picofarad capacitors, so they're like small tantalum guys. Those are ones we did not replace because generally tantalum capacitors don't fail the same way electrolytic capacitors fail. Anyways, they go on to say it is fairly common for the crystal on these boards to fail. Okay, I don't know if I've ever actually changed a crystal on one of these boards, but I also haven't really had to do much on these things past having a bad ROM or a processor or just recapping it. So unfortunately, I don't have a crystal with me. So if it turns out that we aren't getting a crystal pulse, we will have to put this off until later. Crystals are not something that fail very often.
How do you get a crystal? I don't understand. I know crystals like the rock crystal.
It is. It is literally a rock.
But how does that fit in a chip? What does it look like? Do you have crystal, are they in the chips?
Well, it's a piece of quartz.
For asking, but
so this is the crystal right here.
Wait, hold on. Are you on the handheld?
Yeah. So this is the crystal. So it's a small piece of quartz or something, and that oscillates when given juice.
Cool.
And that is what sets the frequency, the speed, the conductor's wand of the processor.
And that's a replaceable part.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
They come in different, frequencies, so different megahertz.
It is magical.
Megahertzes, if you will. Yeah, no, all of this stuff is magical. So
yeah, we have a crystal. We have 2 crystals that work for Marco Pinball now, actually.
Don't think about this
Oh,
stuff.
and we sell crystals, so we have 3 crystals.
We got all
Thanks
the
for
crystals.
posting those links, Midge. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. I want to see inside the silver casing.
Do we have those in stock? Oh, good. So
Yes, we do.
I should have looked at PinWiki. I was much too busy to prepare for this today, other than like that hour and a half before we started here. Anyways, I'm going to throw the logic probe onto pins 39 and 38 now. We're going to just make sure we're on 5. We've got a high signal. So what we're going to see, this is probably going to show low and high at the same time, possibly. I know that this is pin 1 with the dot. I know that this is pin 40, opposite. So we're going to go 1 down and check pin 39.
Oh, blocking it.
We've got low. Oh, I just crossed the lines. Oh, so there's a data line.
Oh no. This frame is blocking it.
So I've got low and low. I have my oscilloscope, but it's been so long since I've used my oscilloscope, I'm afraid to try and set it up, but let's just do it, and maybe we can watch it flutter a little bit. Because I'm not certain what a low signal means. We were warned in our instructions, right, that the voltage going through the crystal can be so low that the meter may not be able to detect what's going on. Right, so when I put my voltmeter on it, I get 1.21 volts and 1.5 volts respectively. So that is why the logic probe will definitely see that as a low signal. I think in TTL logic, anything between 0 and 2.3 volts is considered low, and anything 2.3 volts and higher is considered a high signal, which is why all this stuff runs on 5 volts, right? TTL logic is 2.5. Thank you. It is literally half.
Oh, nice.
So
that's
is
what
why
your voltmeter should have been reading in an ideal circumstance?
Well, I think I mean, I'm going to assume that it's working properly. We can try to set up my oscilloscope, and I can fumble through to try to get it to show a pattern, but let's not worry on that right now. Let me go back to the instructions really quick and try to wrap my head around what we might try next.
Dent says that voltage will be a representation of a square wave clock signal. It is not steady state.
Yes. So we might have a failed crystal. And we could definitely guarantee that by using something a little more telling than a logic probe. A logic probe is a very simple way to see if a signal is low or high, which we just demonstrated. An oscilloscope is kind of like a visual multimeter.
That makes sense.
So we could watch that signal because not all signals are basic low and high.
Is that your oscilloscope?
Yeah.
Oscilloscope? Yeah, Colin Baxter wants an episode on how to use an oscilloscope.
I am not going to give that to you because I am not the right person to ask.
No, that's what's happening right now.
No, we're just going to, I'm going to see if we can prove our point. It's been a long time since I've fumbled through using this oscilloscope in particular.
Toys!
I really do want to learn some of this stuff better. You know, like how to troubleshoot a lot of this stuff a little more, but some of it goes a little too over my head. So, you know, when I would do it with the people who were teaching me, etc., you know, I kind of kept it at a rather basic level. Not that I wasn't interested, I just need more time using it.
Can we see the machine?
Yeah, hold on. Let me poke around on it really quick.
Wow, look at those cables.
Yeah.
Do you put those in your ears? Like
yes.
A doctor's stethoscope?
That's kind of what we're doing. Like Carrie Hardy's like, lay off the energy drinks. It's like, man, that's just how I am. I'm just really shaky nowadays. I think I'm just also, I kind of, even though I don't feel anxious when I do this now, I still get a little stressed out, you know? That makes my hands
Yeah, you're
shake.
put on the spot, right? And you just have a bunch of people in the chat judging you.
No, no one judges me anymore.
They're call judging.
Let's see. It's booting up. Is it booting up?
Dent says the oscilloscope can be adjusted to the frequency of the waveform so that it can be observed on the display. Yeah, I want to see it on the display.
Yeah, we're going to try and see if we can do something.
And then Michael says just set your volts per division below 1V on a X1 probe.
Let's see here. So vertical position, volts per division. Okay, volts per division. So that, I think, is 0. Channel 1, 50 volts. Well, I think, the easiest way for me to remember how to do this is, so we're going to give this a reference voltage. So we're going to hook this to 5 volts, kind of like we did with our logic probe. God, this thing is so short. Hold on. I got to do some tool modification here. I'm glad there's smarter people than I am here today to...
Yeah, it's awesome. Everyone works together.
I just haven't used this thing in a long time, you know? It's like, I think I've only used it a few times. I got it at a estate sale for super cheap.
It looks old.
It's not that old. We'll give this a reference of 5 volts. And really quick, I will now place this on, I guess, ground.
Let's get a close up.
I guess actually if I put it on 5 volts, I could get a high signal. Let's see. Coupling DC, vertical position. No, I don't want to move the vertical position.
Can you pan the handheld camera to the right a little bit?
Yeah. Sorry. I told you this was going to be goofy for a second.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so channel 1 set to 5 volts. I want to set channel 1 to 1 volt. Oop, not 20. Right? Because now I'll be able to watch it jump around. Let me just do this. If I hook it, I can't really hook it because it's, the chip is a little too small, but I can.
Michael said there should be a test point on the oscilloscope that will give you a clock signal.
A test point? You know what? Yeah, it could be. Let me look on the board really quick. Nope. I mean, I guess I could try measuring at C3 and C4, but I'm just going to really quickly butt it up against pin 39. I can kind of rest it there without. Okay, so I can get a reading off of the one part of the crystal. So really quick, check this out. I don't know how to decipher 100% what I'm looking for, but more what I'm looking for is just to see if something is happening. So check this out. I'm going to put it on pin 39, which is one of the clock signals. And it's waving, right? I'm going to put it on pin 38. We've got signal there. So the clock is doing something. So what I think is going on here is we've got like a 0 line, and then every single one of these blocks represents 1 volt. And that is how you read an oscilloscope. But what we're looking for here is we're just watching it. We're watching it go. We're watching it do something. So the clock is doing something. So I think we can judge that the clock is okay. And let's move on. The next step is kind of hilarious, but it says that make sure that the transistor which would be Q1, which is a 2N3904 or a 2N4401, which drives the LED as functioning. Yeah. I still kind of want to replace the PIA with a known, actually 100% like same era working PIA, which I have on this board here. So I will yank the 6821 off. And before we go do anything like bust out the soldering iron and replace a silly transistor for an LED, we're going to try this. So I am grabbing, these are both 6820s, but it's fine. I don't know the difference, but most of the time they are intercompatible in this application anyways. I'm gonna remove that guy really quick. Make sure the orientation is correct. We're going to install that on the Squawk and Talk.
Can we get a camera angle of the board?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Turn on the light. Just, sorry, I'm gonna get in the way because I need to make sure I'm not pinching any legs. I mean, the other thing we could do is we should be swapping these things vice versa, but right now let's just see if this works. Hey, all right, we may have had a bad PIA in both instances. We just got a flicker from the LED. Did you all see that? So
I didn't, but maybe.
Check it out right here. Now we're getting nothing.
No.
Well, that was weird. Oh, well, no, I'm not getting anything now. That's odd. I don't know if the symptom for the light is locked on and the light is not there at all are the same thing. Really quickly, I'm going to measure voltages again.
Carrie says the LED is just bad.
Well, it is. I mean, that's definitely the next step, right? The next step is absolutely going in and replacing the drive for the LED. Okay, no, it's not. I don't have 5 volts anymore.
Oh no.
So that, I don't know what that is indicative
this
of.
angle.
12 volts is delivered to this board, and that 12 volts is then turned into 5. This board has always, always, always had 5 volts. So something, there's nothing like we're running the program would like instantly jump into 12 volts and blow something up. The first thing to do is going to be go in and just check the fuse that turns into 12 volts. So this is going to be a back and forth operation.
That's what that says. And Dig says transistor and LED are probably good if it flickers.
Yes, I think we've just proven that by having one flicker, but now I'm also concerned, you know, we got something weird happening where I'm not sure why the other 6821 did not work in this board. I'm glad that I just stole one from the computer. I guess what we could do, well, we can't do anything now because we've got a blown fuse. So really quick, I need to put this here on my pile of chips from this board. I'm going to yank the game open, and we're going to check that fuse real quick.
Cool.
Oh, I'm going to turn the game off too. The computer, of course, is no longer booting because I removed one of the PIAs. It also won't boot without the right voltage. So, this one's really throwing us for a loop. I like it. These are the problems that are really gratifying to solve.
Yeah, Retro Gaming with Hopper said, I love it. This is what I was going through. Empathy.
This game is disgusting and filthy. Has not been cleaned out on the inside yet. All right, So to be extra safe, we'll remove the game from power to the wall. We're working on our friend, the rectifier board.
Where's Cletus?
Maybe Cletus is me today.
Maybe.
Maybe I'm sitting here screwing stuff up. And I don't remember which fuse is which anymore. Let's see. I remember the days when I had all this stuff memorized.
You gotta go back to school.
Now look at me. TP3 fuse F3. Take a look at F3.
Why is this taking so long?
I don't feel scared touching this because we have removed the game from the wall.
Yeah, he can't get shocked.
So this fuse definitely looks blown to me, but I'm going to just double check, test it here. Got nothing. It's a very blown fuse. It also doesn't look like a slow blow. We might not have a problem, just like the constant turning on and turning off of the game could have made it sad. So I didn't think that I was going to need my parts today, so I left it in my car. I'll be right back.
He left us. He left us. I have a power play restream bot. Oh, what's that? I want a restream bot. Oh, hello, Swords of Fury, Blades of Glory. Hello, Daniel. Thanks for joining us. This is one of our first, I don't want to say real, but our first back at working on games in a long time since our show season. We had a great run this year. If you guys haven't checked out our Midwest Gaming Classic recap that we posted on Facebook and YouTube, you should. We had a 30-foot inflatable Godzilla there. And then also on our website, we have Crystal did a podcast breakdown of Houston Arcade Expo, which is also one of our favorite shows of the year. We love that community down there.
I've never needed one, but I don't have a 4-amp circuit breaker.
Oh, I am the restream bot. Oh. Yeah, Pez was there. I ate like 6 of his Pez's, and it was awesome.
Adding a note for myself here, just so I remember to try to make a 4-amp breaker for Flambeau. All right, we're going to use a 3-amp circuit breaker because it's close enough and we're under rating it. This will be telling if it explodes like right away.
Oh gosh.
Well, I don't think it will. Again, this is supposed to be a slow blow fuse, and the one I took out was very not a slow blow. Let me verify.
He did find a bad fuse, and he tested it on his voltage meter, and it was dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, very dead. Actually, did I not catch this when we were working on the damn game?
You sure it didn't blow after that?
No, I mean when we were working on the rectifier board. It is a 4, but it's a fast blow. So, anywho, let's put this 3-amp guy in here. Underrating it a teeny bit. Let's just power the game on and see if it immediately explodes.
Oh wait, I made that shot of the explosion.
It did not immediately pop.
Oh, well that's good.
Something that annoys me and throws me for a loop pretty often. I mean, fuses can just go bad. A fuse does not necessarily need an over amperage situation to explode. So a lot of the times if I'm dealing with a blown fuse problem, you know, the first thing to do is to just replace the fuse. You could have a 30-something-year-old fuse in the game. It's time to go. You know, this game also has probably been turned on 3 times since we've got it working, and we just turned it on like 10 times in a second. It's a fast blow fuse. It just was not ready. So let's go back in here. I'm going to leave the glass off just in case we need to get back in to replace the fuse. So I'll reposition this guy. And let's take a look at the LED. Let's see what we get.
Can you straighten the camera out a
Wow,
little
we
bit?
get nothing. No, hold on. Oh, I'm a big idiot. I forgot to plug the game back in. Okay, so now...
Oh, that's why it didn't blow up.
Nah, it still might not blow
shot.
up. So let's just listen. Silence really quick.
Yeah, I'm Coulsamando. Hello, Ice Skidoo. Good to see you.
Okay, so what we saw was not a flickering LED. We saw an LED that turned on, and then the fuse exploded, and then it turned off, and it looked like a glorious flicker. So we can rule out that this PIA made a difference. That was pretty funny.
So that's not good. We
No,
have not made progress.
We're still in the step one. Honestly, this is funny if it's going to come back and bite me in the butt, but I really do not think that the transistor that drives the LED is bad. But I think that kind of does leave us in a position where it's time for parts that I might not necessarily have. So let's go back to good old PinWiki once I reseat this PIA. I'm going to turn it back on and make sure it boots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flashes, and now the program is running, and it's happy. So we still have no sound. Let me reinstall the old PIA. Isn't this fun? This is what board swapping is all about. Now, this is not the best way to do it. Really, the best way to do this would be to do this on your bench with an external power supply, so you don't have to get up and down every time you need to make a change. I used to have at Chris's shop, we had just an ATX computer power supply. So I was able to hook up, positive 12 volts to the pin that needed it and a ground. And, then we didn't need to rely on the rest of the electronics to troubleshoot the board. So it's kind of annoying to get up and down and up and down. So
what's the next step?
Let's find out.
Oh, we're going back to PinWiki.
If I skip the test, since we know that we've tried multiple PIAs, we've tried an alternative processor, but this processor is resetting, there is a possibility that we have a bad U5, which would be the game ROM. The only way that I could test that is to replace it. I don't have any other games in here with a Squawk and Talk. But U5 is just the processing instructions. Are there Space Shuttle, Comet? No, we don't have any good Bally games in here, do we?
Obi asked, what does the LED on the Squawk and Talk do if it is working?
Okay, so what it's supposed to do is flash like the computer LED would. So the computer LED flashes 7 times every time it passes a test. Every time it passes its own test, did I reset? There's a flicker. Can I read the program in the ROM? There's a flicker. Okay, here's some information, PIA1 and PIA2. Do you both report back? Okay, there's a flicker, right? So it reports back every time it passes a self-check, and that is what helps us. That's what makes it much easier to diagnose these Bally computers versus the Williams computers, which have no inboard diagnostic. It either runs or it doesn't. So we're working on the same LED on the Squawk and Talk, which is going to present us with the same things, right? Oh, I reset. Oh, I found the ROM, the program. Oh, I can do this. Oh, I checked that. So it's a diagnostic LED.
Right.
Yeah, sorry.
Dig asked if you've reseated the U5.
Yeah, I did reset the U5, one of the first times I took this board out.
Wordness. And then Dent said the LED indicates, oh yeah, what you said, indicates the processor is operating and the board is working. If it flashes, the appropriate
Yeah.
number of times. Right.
So there's, I mean, I could go over really quick just for fun, so I can try to memorize it. But the flash sequence, it looks like you need 5 flashes on a Squawk and Talk. So the first flash is once you achieve a flicker, which is like, hey, I reset, okay, let's go, which is what we're trying to get right now. The first flash, oh, wait, never mind, I wasn't at the right section, but the first flicker says the processor has found the program code in the ROM and has begun to configure the board. The first flash is 128 bytes of system RAM, which is either in the 6802, which is the processor, or an external RAM, a 6810 chip, have tested good. So we don't even get the flicker. So the computer can't even find the code in the ROM. It could be an issue. The second blink states that the PIA at U7, which controls all the speech data, has passed the test. The third blink is for the next PIA, which controls the sound chip, the AY38912. The fourth blink says that the AY38912 is now taking instruction. And the fifth blink says that the TMS 5200 speech chip has also passed its test. So every time you get a blink, that's the computer passing another test and it's ready to go. Anywho.
Didn't we get 7 blinks?
7 blinks on the computer. 5
it
blinks on the Squawk and Talk.
Right. Yeah, you panned over and showed us the computer.
The next thing it's suggesting to do is to check that the correct jumpers are installed. I passed over this like the immediate first time it was told to me because this game is the original. This board is the original Squawk and Talk that came in this game when it was new. So I really don't think that the jumpers have been mucked with. But, 100% due diligence, I do need to check that. The jumpers dictate how many ROMs and where data is stored in these ROMs, depending on what size they are. It's a very antiquated system. But I will check that. I mean, why not? At this point, we have nothing to lose, right? Let me turn it on one more time. We have a solid flash. I should try to find a 6808. Because I did try a 6802. I don't know if I should be held up on that because we did see the processor reset, so I might skip that for now. But that might be what we try right towards the end. Let me show you these jumpers. A lot of boards are configured, a lot of older boards are configured with these jumpers, which will let different parts of the board address each other depending on changes. So when the game was new, it might have used, a ROM size this. But 4 or 5 years down the line, when technology changes, it would, they need to make sure that they can address different size ROMs, which may become cheaper at a different time. Anyways, you see all these jumpers? A, B, C, there's little jumpers across those lines. These are the jumpers it's talking about. So I'm going to need to read a table and double check what all this is. I also don't feel, I won't feel defeated at all past today either because I do want to check U5. It's not common for a ROM just to up and fail, but the other thing is I also need to be really diligent and check all the sockets. That's definitely one of the next steps is make sure your sockets are good. Traditionally, these Robert Newley sockets are actually pretty good and they don't have high failure rates like those Scambi sockets that we hate so much. Anywho, let me jump back onto my phone here. So PinWiki definitely has a chart, I believe, that says what each of these jumpers are. Troubleshooting the Squawk and Talk.
What number are you at? And then I'll put that on the screen.
Once I find it, I will tell you. Give me a sec.
Oh yeah, there's the cheap squeak you were talking about.
I mean, honestly, the next couple steps I can see taking if I burn a new U5 and install it and we still don't get anything, as much as I hate it, the next step would be to verify all the sockets are good or go in and shotgun them. I don't like doing sockets just because you can cause all sorts of new problems. I'd rather attack this a little more diligently. I actually might phone a friend past today, just to see, get a little bit more, someone.
Use a lifeline.
Yeah, use a lifeline. Someone a little smarter than I am.
Tried Leon's chip for testing?
No, I don't need Leon's chip for testing because the board's not booting. If the board was doing something goofy that I couldn't figure out, then a test chip would be a good idea, but I don't need that for this. You know what I mean? The test chip is going to like address things individually so you can like read for outputs, and that helps you find problems elsewhere in the circuit. So,
Well, while Kyle's looking at that,
yes,
I just wanted to let all of y'all know that next week we will be doing a special PinTech Live episode with Jack Danger and the Jurassic Park pin. So that's going to be really exciting. We'll have him on the show. We'll go through the pin. We'll open it up, look underneath, and it's going to be a really great time. Same time, same place, just next week.
Just in one whole week.
Yeah, and our free shipping 99 24-hour code for domestic and $10 off international shipping codes will be back live next week as well. Right now we have an ongoing free shipping, free ground shipping, domestic ground shipping for orders over $199 up until the 15th. That just does it automatically. You don't have to enter a code or anything. So and automatic $10 off for orders over $199 too for those international buyers. So yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff. JDJP. Yeah, exactly. We're going to look at the JDJP.
It's going to be awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me 1 sec. Okay, so I found a table online that tells me what jumpers need to be installed. And we are going to just double check that real quick, even though I'm still not convinced that's a thing that I need to check. Emoto, can you put this camera on big really quick? I want to try to point something out.
Yes.
I want to try to find the serial number for the game really quick. Ow. EVE1514. Okay. So Bally would stamp all of their boards with a serial number. So you're not going to see this, but in the back box, the computer, lamp driver, auxiliary driver, and the solenoid driver all share the same serial number, EVE electronic vector 1514. That is the serial number of my game. And what I see here on the side of the Squawk and Talk is the remnants of that sticker that has the other part of my serial number, right?
Hold on, I'm focusing. Oh yeah.
So I just want to explain why I'm kind of reluctantly doing this. It's because, again, like if this game was yanked out of an 8-Ball Deluxe or a Centaur and put into this game, you might need to jumper these ROMs differently. There are different sizes of these chips, and the computer knows, using this system of jumpers, where to address each of these chips to find the information it's actually looking for. So I think there is approximately a 0% chance that these are set wrong, but to be thorough, why the hell not?
Yeah. Thank you, It's Lit Pinball, for gifting subs.
Whoa.
You're amazing.
Thanks, man. We need to get that widget installed on OBS. I'll work on that next week.
We can see the Twitch.
Yeah. So I've got 4 2532s. So the following jumpers must be set. CED. Where's A? A, C. Oh my God, this is dumb. A, B, C. Okay, we've got C. We've got E. Where's F? Oh my goodness. I was hoping they'd all be in a nice... Oh, there's not... Wait, hold on. Oh, never mind. I was reading the wrong table now. 2532, right? 2532. Okay. CED, C, E. Okay, now where's D? D.
Wow, that's amazing.
GQ.
It's lit. How did you see that, Mitch?
Which one's Q? Where's Q?
Thank you, amazing. Thank you, It's Lit Pinball.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for watching me look at jumpers.
How did you see where it said that? Mitch said 72 total gift subs from It's Lit Pinball.
Wow. Wow, you're absolutely a friend of the show, but we knew this.
Yeah,
Thank
we need to
you.
hang out at another show soon.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's in the mod view? I'm in the mod view. Sort of.
Q. Where's Q, man? I need to just search like really diligently and just go up and down the board. So far we are like 5
Hello,
for 5,
Cody.
but
Yeah, we will definitely buy him several beers.
oh wait, okay, these are jumpers also. They're not just straight lines. It's a resistor that has a black line on it. A resistor. It's basically a jumper. So that must be Q. Okay, so we have a Q. S. S
yes,
is definitely
we will
done.
be at Texas Pinball Festival.
UWY. There's W.
We are so excited. We will be hosting the Twippies. I'll be hosting the Twippies with Jack Danger. And
good
we
old
are
Jack.
sponsoring it. And we will be premiering, or at least showcasing, Stern's first title of 2022. And we're going to hang out with It's Lit Pinball. Who else is going to Texas Pinball Festival next year? You've never been. It's one of my favorite shows. I love it.
What do you like
great
about it,
show.
Emoto?
I think the community, I love the Texas pinball community in general, hence why Houston is also a favorite show of mine.
Yeah.
But it's a great place because it's kind of like a industry show as well. So you see a lot of new releases. There's a big homebrew presence there. You know, that was the place where I first saw Total Nuclear Annihilation as a Whitewood. And the hotel's nice. The area is nice. It's just a great show.
So what you're saying is there's a lot of reasons to like the Texas Pinball Festival.
There's so many reasons. And we're going to be doing the Twippies Pinball Award Show live there.
Well, yeah, we're supposed to be voting, right? Like pre-voting for categories?
I would have had Carrie Hardy, as my co-host, but since he's blacklisted, I guess that'll never happen.
Oh, man. Pinball drama.
I'm just kidding. Sort of.
Kind of what I'm doing right now, just because I have the board sitting on its end like this, is I am verifying that I have some sort of continuity between the top of the chip leg and the actual bottom of the chip, which is soldered through the board.
Oh, well, yeah. Thanks for reminding me, Garrett. I need a post about that. This is the one more day for pre-voting for the Twippies. So this is to create the drop-down categories for the main Twippy votes. So if y'all have not done any of your pre-votes yet, now is the perfect time to do it. I'm going to drop the link in the chat so you can do it. You vote right here on thisweekinpinball.com.
And while we love you, please don't
all your
vote for
favorite
us.
Categories. Yeah, vote for the people that deserve it.
Vote for people that spend a ton of time and like massive parts of their days to create content for you. While we really appreciate all of you tuning in to try to learn, and we do put time into this.
You can vote for Kyle for favorite competitive pinball player.
Yes, vote for me for best competitive pinball player, because that's definitely
favorite, not best.
Oh, favorite, yeah.
Favorite.
That's right.
You qualify.
So.
I know. Well, Todd Tuckey needs to win. TNT Amusement needs to win a Twippy. They're past due.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, here you go. If you want me to buy you a beer, vote for Todd Tuckey.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Baxter.
We're gonna fix this. Todd Tuckey needs to win.
Christopher Doyle, how did you know that was my voicemail message?
Oh, that's so funny.
If you ever want to hear my voice, just call in to Marco.
Call in after 6 p.m. Eastern, so then you definitely get the voicemail. There's a lot of people to answer the phones nowadays, which is great.
Yeah. All right, where are you at, Kyle?
Yeah.
Ranked
So
voting.
vote for Emoto for everything you can vote for Emoto for, and then vote for Todd Tucky for the best YouTube channel.
No, I can't win anything. I'm a host. Lifetime Achievement Award for... Yeah, I know. I always vote for Todd, too.
I do, too. I don't think I've ever voted for anyone but Todd. As much as it hurts and I like so many people.
We do need a Lifetime Achievement Award for him.
There are a lot of people I'd like to nominate for a Lifetime Achievement Award, and all of them deserve it. I'm still going through.
This is kind of like the pre-voting process, so it's a little bit more filling in stuff. And when the actual voting opens up, then it's more of just kind of click and play through a drop-down menu, so it'll be less tedious. But the reason we pre-vote is because it allows people that aren't in a drop-down menu to have a chance to be placed on there.
And there's a lot of great content creators, like no matter how hard you try, there will always be a couple that you will miss. And there's definitely a lot of people that make great content that are not on that list. So this is your chance.
Yeah, and I will say that an easy way to get on that list, if you are a content creator, you need to sign up for the This Week in Pinball database, because that is how they pull their drop-down menu list. It's completely free. It's just helps you with your Google Analytics. There's really no reason why to do it, but you sign up for the, where is that database? Promoters database. So any of y'all content creators out there that aren't on this database, so that's live streaming, video creation, podcasts, you all qualify. That's great.
Yes.
It's a great way to also find more content to listen to and watch as well. Ooh, I love Backball Pinball Podcast, and I love Silverball Chronicles. Their stories are so great. I wanted to vote for Puppet Pals, but someone was saying that they didn't make enough episodes this year to qualify. Yeah, see, Midge is a tried and true Puppet Pals. I converted him into a Puppet Pal follower. I forced him to listen to it in the car with me.
Just like me, but I enjoyed it.
I know. I force you guys to listen to a lot of pinball podcasts, and then you guys like them, so it's great.
I definitely miss head-to-head pinball.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I miss Ryan and Martin together. They were very funny.
They were.
There's a lot of pinball podcasts now. This is the most compelling content I've ever made, other than sanding. But right now, I'm with the tools I have available and the amount of mental capacity I have currently, I'm at least what I'm trying to do here is just ensure that I have continuity between the leg of the chip through the back of the socket. And that is telling me that I've probably got okay enough connection for this damn thing to boot through these sockets, because I'm not going to resocket this board unless we need to.
Midge doesn't even have a beard in his emote. It's so funny. But yeah, I agree. We do need to have a best beard in pinball category, and I would also vote for Midge.
Yeah,
we should also have a favorite pinball pet category.
What about
Although
tallest
that would be
pinball
so
streamer?
hard to choose and vote. Marco for best camera work. Oh, thank you. No, you should check out Kerry Hardy's stuff. He does some great camera work as well, and straight down the middle. Their gameplay videos that they do are amazing. The little montages.
It is pretty next
Quality.
level.
Kyle needs a forehead cam. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Tallest pinball streamer is Kyle. That's just facts. Yeah, that's true. Actually, I will make it a point on stage at the Twippies to call Kyle out, and Jack will be like, "Oh, I'm the tallest pinball streamer," and then I'll be like, "Record stop. Nope, that guy right there, Kyle Spiteri, come up on the stage," and then we'll measure them. Do you think they'll let me do that?
I'm gonna make sure I'm sick that weekend that Texas is happening, so I don't have to go.
No sound on Twitch? Uh-oh.
That should not be the case. We were definitely losing some sound last night, but
I see it.
I think there's also something going on with Twitch.
Twitch updates. If you're on your phone, they update the app so many times. Super awesome pinball show was really awesome. Mrs. Pin's pinball podcast was really great. When she first started too, I was in tears listening to her podcast. There's so much great pinball content. We're such a lucky community to have so many passionate people to create things for our entertainment's sake.
Hey, I just found a weird little solder splash.
Oh no, you splashed. Can we see?
No, because I touched it with my finger and it fell off. It was definitely joining two pins that it probably should not have. That's interesting. That makes me want to put this back on really quick.
Nice.
What chip
Dent
is that?
says, I bet the problem will end up being some of those sockets on the board not making good contact.
I don't think so. Just because this board is really nice.
Cletus.
This board
Hello,
isn't like.
LEJ. Thanks for joining us.
Howdy.
Oh, I gotta switch.
Another friend from South Carolina.
Can you give us a better angle?
Yeah, no, you'll get one. I just have to plug the board in. The reason I'm not screwing it in, yes, these provide ground, but the board is also grounded through its connector here. So for best outcome, you obviously want to have all your boards screwed down all the time.
Solder blob. Ooh, should that be an emote? A little solder blob?
Okay,
if this is what fixes it, then it deserves its emote. The evil. And we'll give it a little evil eyes.
I'm pretty sure that solder blob was on part of the reset circuit, so just for giggles, I am going to check for processor reboot.
Then the emotes are like, you see Colin Baxter posted the little, what is that? I made it. A spider holding a wrench.
Poor Cletus.
Or this is Kyle's face. They're like emojis, but Twitch calls them emotes.
Okay, so we do have reset, but we still have a board that's locked on. So at this point, the only thing, I mean, we're probably kind of done with this. The only thing that we haven't changed, which is also crucial to this situation, is U5. And U5, again, being the ROM that stores the beginning of the program the computer needs to run. In sense, we kind of checked everything else. We've got a processor that's restarting. We've got a verified signal from the clock, from the crystal rather. The only chip that we haven't swapped is U5. So unless I can, let me go, while we continue chatting, let me see if I can find a 6808, just for giggles.
Where would you find it?
We'll see if we can find one. I think Data East Games used a 6808.
Oh, nice. Does anyone in the chat see a game back there that would have a 6808 chip in the chip box? I know, right? That's where it should be.
Well, I might have one in my my toolbox. I'm going to go look. I just don't want to dig through my box. It's easier just to pop one out of a game because then you know that it's a working chip. These chips are old, and it's not uncommon sometimes to potentially find a counterfeit or a bad chip. Unless you verified every chip in your box is good, there is a chance that it is not good. So,
Mookie's doing good, Colin. Thanks for asking. He's taking a nap.
I think Kings of Steel is new enough.
I think he's chasing rabbits right now. Sergeant Cletus. Hey Rocky, watch me pull a 6808 out of my hat.
Yeah, can someone do that for me?
Presto. We do need a Kyle head cam, but he'd have to be on a wireless unit. Those get pretty bulky and heavy. We'd have to make like a helmet.
Do they make
those? And then
those?
just rig. Do they make? Yeah, definitely.
That's cool.
Red Bull uses it all the time.
Oh, Red Bull's cool. Hey, speaking of which,
Thank you, Den.
who's the only other
And
person
you
that's
do a
probably
great
not in
job
the
at
stream
communicating without using emotes. But emotes are so fun.
right now? Emotes are fun. I need to get my circuit breaker out of there.
And we need a toolbox camera angle.
Here.
Ooh, do we get to see? Oh. Alright.
It needs a decent restock. I used a lot of parts when I was in Savannah, but we're looking for
Oh,
chips.
there's his chips. Teletubby. Ooh, that looks like maybe one.
I think
It's
I have
I
I have everything
bag
other than a
ASMR.
6808. Hold on.
Oh.
I need all my hands. I can't hold a camera. Here, now you can look at my lap.
Oh goodness. I should switch the shot.
Here.
Oh.
I
You
have
got it?
6821 PIA, 25101 RAMs. I've got 26810 RAMs on that bug rug.
They're good fishing lures.
6800, 6809. What's this? 74 LS 367 for switchy stuff.
We could staple it to Kyle's head. Ice could do.
Get out of here. 6821, a 6264, and 2 Ramtrons. I don't have a 6808.
Wow.
I'm going to keep searching. There's a couple System 11C games in the back that I believe have working sound. And I think that uses a 6808 for the sound processor on that board as well. So I'm sorry, but we're going to try to get that. We're going to see if we can get something with the tools we have at hand.
Partridge in a pear tree.
And a 6808 in the pear tree as well. With the partridge.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a partridge before.
Pin guy's getting hungry and thirsty hearing about all this chip talk. Obi says search Viking, but with giant LOL next to it.
Vikings got all the same stuff. I think the best bet's going to be to find a medium-aged Williams game. Give me a second as I...
Thanks for joining us. It's Lit Pinball. Garrett, we will see you at Texas Pinball Festival.
See you then, man. I wish you were in Allentown, Steve, to meet Garrett. He's a really, really swell guy. Okay.
I should play like some music, right?
Yeah. Why don't you
Colin
sing us
Baxter,
a song,
should I bring
Moto?
back my rave techno?
What should I look at? Where's all the System 11 games? This Game Show works, right? I think Game Show will have the 2 processors that I need. Steve, why don't you sing us
Sorry, I
this song?
couldn't help myself.
6802, a 6821, 6821, 6821, 6821.
It's like holding music at the club.
Oh, this is so sad. I feel defeated. I've got one more game to check.
Do we
I
have
remember
any
one
in
of my
stock
first
that someone
jobs
can just
that
bring?
Chris had me do. I don't know if you can hear me, Emoto.
I can hear you.
Was to go through a big
Slightly
pile of
over
chips and
our
put them on
rave
boards
we're having.
on a test jig.
I know, right? Yeah, see, Go City Pinball. We just said the same thing.
There's a 68.
Can someone from the shop bring you one?
This game works.
68 of it. Hey, DeWist, welcome to the party.
You could
We
if
are
you wanted to go
currently-
grab one, or we can just wait till next time. We're gonna start a Q&A if this doesn't work anyways. We have lots to talk about.
Do we?
I have lots to talk about. I don't know about you.
What do you want to talk about? Pinball repair,
Pinball?
I hope. Dent says if a new processor fixes this machine, I'll be very surprised, to be honest.
I will be too, but I need to rule it out. I'm expecting this to do absolutely nothing, but to be thorough, I need to rule it out.
What other stuff would you check besides that?
To be frank, honestly, I don't know. I'm not sure where to start. The first thing I need to do, the only other thing is to burn a new ROM. I need to burn a new ROM. And once I burn a new ROM, and if that does nothing.
Yeah, did you replace the caps?
Yes.
You did that first, right?
Yes. Yeah, I am also not expecting this to do anything, but you got to be thorough.
Sockets?
Maybe. It could be sockets. I'm going to go through with each one and I'm going to measure continuity with a chip in each socket. I don't want to do that, and I don't think that that's going to be a problem on this board, but I'm not going to do it without confirming it.
List.
And let's see. Ha! It flashed. So we might have a bad 6808. That's why I do this, because here's the thing. Let me try again. It flashed.
Wait.
Okay, so what we just learned is, again, this is why you need to follow each step, because if I swore that I ruled out the processor from the get-go, right, at that point, it's you'd be stuck, right? I'd be stuck at this point because I'd be searching other things. So now let's go back. Let's see if we can actually finish this. And maybe I should send Steve off to go get another 6808.
We have time. He only has to travel 50 miles in circles to get to
Yeah, uphill both ways in snow.
Studio location.
Hey, Steve. How opposed to you are going to grab me a 6808? Okay.
Yeah, we want resolution on this show.
You'll do it, Mark?
Oh, we got Mark.
Okay. Thank you, Mark.
Mark's there?
Yeah, Mark is here. He's being quiet.
This
He's
whole
eating chips
time?
off camera, but once he comes
You
back,
don't
I'm going to
have
have him come back.
6808s in your pocket, Mark?
Okay, so the first flicker.
Thank you.
Once a flicker is achieved, the road of recovery is much smoother. Install the U6 RAM, the 6810. The 6810 is installed here. And this is why doing this on the bench with a power supply is a million times easier, because I don't have to keep getting up and down. And I'm just old and I don't like doing that. Install the U6 RAM 6810 if using a 6808 CPU. Oh, I wonder if I could have taken, no, I need to jumper it. Never mind, ignore me. A good 6810 can be pulled from a working MPU board. So we're going to test the one that was in the board, and if this one doesn't work, I'll yank it off of the MPU because it is booting. Yeah, and vice versa, right? I can test this in the MPU to see if it's good, either or. If using a 6802, the 6810 is not needed. I was a dummy, and I put a 6802 in here, and I was like, oh, it shouldn't need that, but anyways, don't worry about it. The first flash will be automatic with the 6802 installed. Interesting. Having U6 installed with the 6802 will not hurt anything, and either the L or K jumper can be installed as long as the 6810 is good. Okay, whatever. So we should be able to get a second flash, I believe, now. The second flash is the program testing the RAM. 1, 2, okay?
Oh, we can't see it.
Trust me, it happened. I'll show you the next one. The second flash, install the U7 PIA. Again, a good PIA can be taken from a working MPU, but I think we're good. So I'm going to grab the 6821 here and install it at U7, which is right here. Let me move the camera closer.
Yay, thank you.
Look at that. Sometimes my stubbornness can pay off. But that's kind of why, like, these are the kinds of moments that really teach you not to half-ass troubleshooting, right? you really do need to try everything down to the T when you're being giving a good list, especially with things that are very well known how to repair. So let's start this up again. We should get 3 flashes. Flicker, 1, 2, 3. So we just passed the RAM test and the PIA test.
Yay.
A 4th flash, install U12 sound generator chip, which is this guy here, if it's used. The U12 chip is not used, then you must have all of the EE jumpers installed. I don't know what that means, but this game rules, and it has the U12 sound generator chip. I'm just going to confirm that that goes in U12 because I'm forgetful, and even though I say it 10 times. Okay, so I should be getting another flash now. Flicker, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Nice.
And the reason I'm not just throwing everything back in is so we can just be procedural about it. I'm pretty sure that all of these chips are good, and I'm going to put them all back in. It's going to work, but let's just follow the instructions. For the 5th flash, we're going to install the TMS5200. Note, it is, oh, I guess I should install the ROMs and et cetera now as well. It does say that the TMS 5200 is likely to have tarnished legs, so that would mean that the legs would just be kind of nasty and dirty, but this one's not that bad. I may have scraped it a little bit. Sometimes that can happen through just like chemical, right? The difference in like metallurgy between like the socket and the leg of the chip can cause weird metal reactions, and you can get like weirdly discolored chips for whatever reason.
No.
There's like rules about that, like how you're not supposed to use gold and like, you know, tin or something like that. You have to use like like metals. I don't know. I'm not an engineer.
Interesting.
I just fix
You should
things.
be.
Okay. I am just going to install the rest of the ROMs because we're going to get a booting soundboard. We followed the instructions through all the logic level stuff. If the TMS 5200 isn't working or the sound generator isn't working, then we'll just have a board that makes no sounds, and that's a different problem.
No. So you're doing all of this and with the idea of replacing the 6808 chip as well?
Yeah, well, I'm going to need
Or-
to because the 6808's bad. So I'll go throw it in the Monday Night Football that I yanked it out of, and if it works, then we've got 2 working games again. So for this, I will install the speaker.
Yeah, we want to hear Vector.
See what we can get. Flash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yay! It's making noise. It's so quiet too. It sounds good. We're gonna push the test button. Okay.
Do we get it?
Yeah, the pot, I might have screwed up. The volume pot's really sticky.
Do you spill beer on it?
Someone did. Or the test button doesn't do anything. Could be one or the other. So I can put it into the tests and we can get, there's a sound test, I think. Did it just die?
Sound test.
No, it's not. It's in test mode. There's just a ton of garbage in the RAM. Hold on. Ooh, that's loud. It's gonna make a noise. For whatever reason, the sound test wasn't going, and this button wasn't doing anything. So let's see. The pots. I'll mess with these a little bit. We'll hit this button again. There it goes.
Oh, it talked to us.
New Vector record. Offense released. Energy stored. Vector triple. Vector scan volume. Double. Vector scan volume. Vector scan volume. Period. Completed. Z, Y, X. Captured. Vector scan. Defense in position. Welcome to Vector Dome. Stand by for Vector scan.
No, don't break it.
Defenders down. 3
This
captured.
sounds so cool.
2 captured. 1 captured. For your vector game plan. Play analysis computer. For your vector game
Watch out.
plan. I am a
It's so loud.
PAC. Play analysis computer. For your vector game plan. Hit the showers. Great.
Hit the showers!
Shoot dot E. Shoot dot
It
E.
talks so
Shoot
much.
dot Y.
Oh,
Shoot
and Mark
dot
just
H.
left too.
Resume play.
He missed the
Strategy
victory moment.
changed. Shoot dot vector scan. Shoot dot hype targets.
It's not done.
Macro
Oh my
power.
gosh.
Shoot dot Z.
It's still
Shoot
going.
dot X. Incredible
There's so
shot.
much
Super
dialogue.
Shot. Great shot. Shot. Great shot.
Shot,
Defender.
shot, shot.
Vector.
Yes, that's a huge library of callouts.
Oh man, yeah. This is like that's why I love this game so much, because it has so many things to say.
Just reseeding the ROMs?
No, it was the bad processor. And see,
So
but
the 6808 was bad, and you swapped it with a good one from Monday Night Football?
yeah,
Is that what happened?
yeah.
And then so Mark left to get another 6808 to put back in Monday Night Football.
Well, yeah, we'll just test another one. You know, because I'm not gonna. If Monday Night Football was my game, I would just steal it and it'd be fine and whatever. But we'd want to make sure all the games are
no,
working.
we want all the games are working there. Yeah. Oh, I wish he was here to see the victory of the loud. You'll have to play it again. When he walks in, just turn on the sound test again.
Just turn it up really loud.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no.
want to
So here.
feel this reaction.
So here's my. I mean, this is. I am your PAC, the play analysis computer now. The play analysis Kyle. No, I just did a bad job. I didn't confirm that the processor was good. I used a similar processor, but I forgot. Well, nah, it's okay.
Right, because you put the 6802 in there instead.
No, I'd have to remove the. I think I need to re-jumper it to try to use the 6802, and I'm not going to do that. But I've reseeded the 6808 multiple times, and it might just be a bad processor. What I will do is go put this 6808 that was in this game into Monday Night Football and see if it boots up. I mean, that's going to be the real test, but it's probably bad. It can happen. It can. It's not impossible. It's not very often that it will happen, but it was like step one in my test, right? Just because it reset doesn't mean the processor is good. So that is why I always say this when you're working on boards, like the first step to troubleshooting is replacing every single socketed chip one at a time until you find your problem. That is the best troubleshooting advice you can have, right? What I will do eventually is I've got a bunch of Bally boards and stuff. I'm going to just go in and I'm going to test like every 6821 and every 6800 processor that I have to make sure I have a good set. And everyone else should do the same if that's something, the kind of repair you do, to always have a good set. Because if someone comes in with a non-working, the Squawk and Talk, you just take out your little boxes, Squawk and Talk chips, bam, okay, I know I have a good working this, and this, and then bam. Chips before caps on Squawk and Talk? No, absolutely not. Caps definitely before the chips, because that's easier and that's more often than not the culprit is a bad capacitor somewhere in a circuit. So.
What did Dig say? I think you need to remove a chip either with the 6808 or the 6802.
Yeah, because I got it backwards when I first said
RAM
it. The 6802 has internal RAM, and the 6808 does not have internal RAM. So that's why you have the 6810 chip, which is a RAM chip. So that 6808 is storing and accessing things from the 6810, which is its RAM, random access memory. The 6802 has built-in RAM. So me installing a 6802 with the 6810 in line made the game not work for whatever reason. So.
Right, it didn't like it.
But it's okay. It don't matter. We can still
Thanks
get a
for posting
6808.
that link, Midge.
Yeah, I made that cap kit.
Yeah.
I fixed it.
You fixed it?
Yeah, I added better capacitors and made it a little cheaper.
Oh, should I see what the
because
picture looks like?
We sold
Is that what you do?
Oh yeah,
I do.
picture's all right.
Better and cheap?
better and cheaper. That's me. Yeah, we were selling it for like $22 because we were using a capacitor value that was like exact for the manual, but I could substitute it for one that had higher voltage that we could buy for many dollars cheaper. And I was able
it's
to pass the
blocking.
savings along to you.
I'm blocking it.
So I'm
Can't
pretty
wait.
satisfied now. I mean, the only thing that we need to do otherwise is to ensure we have all our lamps working, etc. But in the future, working on this game, I'm definitely going to start installing some of our yopsicles.
Oh yeah.
We have
Can
we
you
have
get a
these little
close
dudes
up
in
of them?
stock
Okay.
now.
Hold on.
Oh, the camera. Oh, it's
Wait,
the other camera.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. I'm
You
not there
can't
yet.
just ram it and expect it to work. I guess I can. Oh, okay. Wildman brings the best point. He said correct. The RE pin, the RAM enable pin, needs to be held low, and that will keep the 6802 processor, which has internal RAM, from trying to access external RAM. So, yeah. Actually, can you pull up the listing for the 6808, Steves? Is that the part that is that the one that we have the HD 68?
Yes.
Ah, okay. So here's something funny. Okay, we were talking about some counterfeit stuff. And these aren't necessarily counterfeit, but I think the 6808s we have in stock right now were they were originally Hitachi 6808. So the part would be, I think it's like HD 6808. And for whatever reason, the Hitachi 6808 has like one pin that like in system 11 needs to be like kept out of the a socket, I think, because it is a RAM enable.
You have to jump right to ground, yeah.
Yeah, so that actually is going to be, I'm curious how that will work in this game. Maybe it is a problem only on the system 11 and system 9 boards.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it'll be fine in this game.
So yeah, again, so like it's not a counterfeit chip, but when these are older chips, right? So when we bought these things, we bought them thinking they were 6808s, and when we got them, a customer brought to our attention that's like, hey, I think these are counterfeit. So bring this camera up really quick. So
Alright.
what people will do for some of these slightly more uncommon chips is they will sand off the lettering, right, on top of the chip, and they will re-stamp it and reapply information. So,
Wow.
I guess like in an OEM application, a 6808 was a more common processor than the HD 6808. So again, like this chip will work, but in some applications in pinball, there are slight modifications that need to happen. This is much more common with like actually rare chips. So like a chip like audio amplifiers or sound processor chips, like the ones we were messing with here in Vector, those are much more common to be knocked off just because they are actually a scarcity. The TMS 5200 chip, I believe, is the same speech processor that was used in the Speak and Spell, the toy from back in the 80s. Another thing, like on Centaur, on the unique board it has, the Say It Again board, which is the reverb board, there is a reverb chip on there that became extraordinarily sought after by people who like built guitar effects pedals and stuff. So, when people would junk a Centaur, have that, those chips would be taken off and sold, but it's another common chip to have ripped off. It'll be just whatever is the same form factor, and they will, re-screen it. Anyways, so that's one thing we have to contend with now, trying to keep 40-year-old computers working.
Nice.
Anyways, check out the Yopsicle.
Oh yeah, let me Yeah, on that.
It's so
I
good.
just lost.
It's actually the best.
Wait. And we'll at some point in the near here. Can you hold it up again?
Yeah, check
I'll
this out.
focus on it.
We've shown them off
We'll
before.
we'll have David Yop on our show. I think it would be cool and chat with him and then do an install with him.
So
It'd be fun.
these are not the. This is not. If you bought these from us today, this isn't what you'd get. They're white now, but these are good for Bally games. Replace the nasty socket, and yeah, you've got right here. You've got a the bit to solder your bus to, and then your signal wire over here. So while David Yop was developing these, we were kind of going back and forth about little upgrades and things here and there. They now have like another resistor in line to keep, so you can use them with a Bally, original Bally lamp board. But it's super cool. We've got them priced pretty well, in the sense that, you know, if you just buy one, I think it's like $2.99. So basically the same cost of an LED and a lamp socket. But if you buy 50 of them, you get them for $1 each. So I'm glad that David Yop brought these to the community, and I'm really glad that he is allowing us to sell them on our store. So he's a really nice guy, and it's been really fun working with him and just seeing how, you know, his idea took off. He was telling me that he called them the Yopsicle because he like did all the circuitry for these things on a popsicle stick. So
That's
yeah, they're called Yopsicles because it's a mix between his name and yeah. Anyways, they're really neat and they're great for Bally games. I love them. You get rid of the nasty lamp sockets and they're really bright and happy. So buy them for your Bally game. But we'll go over them one day on a show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. You know what else is pretty awesome? That we fixed this thing. So
I'm so glad that we kept pushing through and then you got it done. Yeah.
me too. I'm hoping that I can get. I'm gonna keep disassembling it, and I'm gonna put more wax on it, and I'm hoping that I can start hydrating all of the wood on the playfield. That's kind of like, you know, starting to chip off pretty bad. I am gonna Mylar the entire game, just to, you know, save it for as
Will we
long as
do
it
an
lasts.
episode of that? The Mylar
Nah, I'm
episode.
probably not going to do that. Maybe we'll do one part on camera, but I'd rather not do it on camera just because I don't want the distraction. Mylar is a fickle beast at the best of times, but in this case, I have to get it right the first time because if I need to re-pull up any section, it's going to take all the paint with it. So
That's so scary.
yeah, so I'd rather do that on my own just so I can concentrate, but maybe we can do a small section of it on camera or not use this as a candidate. What's the link for the Yopsicle? The part number is 05-YOP-WW. Steve is going to pop it in. Hey.
Nice. Did Mark ever come back?
No, he's probably on his way, but maybe he's also got caught up at the... Oh, I think I might just heard his door.
Replay the sound. Do it.
Oh, I will.
All right, and then Midge dropped in the Yopsicle link
Excellent.
right in there. Thank you for that.
Don't.
You have to get up and go push the button.
So we fixed it. We had a bad 6808.
Yay, we got an ARM cameo.
Take aim, rookie. Penalty! E-T-Y! Vector.
Hit the showers.
We have to sit here for
so
another
silly.
20 minutes for it to say hit the showers, but I'll enjoy that a little bit
Yay.
later. But I'm pretty happy about that.
Great job.
So here, let's look at this really quick too.
Okay, hold on one sec. Oh, sorry. There you go.
So you wouldn't know, when you're looking at this, you wouldn't think that there is anything wrong with this processor, right? but through the sleuthing of our customers, we have discovered that this is not an MC6808P. It is an HD 6808P. So.
And so does that matter a lot?
It does in System 11 and System 9 games, because there is a pin on here that is different between the Motorola version and the Hitachi version. So, you know, again, if you bought this for your System 11 game from us and it showed up, you'd look at it and say, yeah, that's a nice Motorola chip. But we have discovered that our current stock are rebranded HD 6808s. And I don't know, maybe in, 98% of its applications throughout everything this has ever been installed in, that might be fine. But for whatever reason, in the System 11 computer, it is not. But there is a very simple instruction that all you have to do is bend up one pin before you put it in the socket, and it will work just fine. Off camera, I will try installing this in Vector and see if it works. Actually, I'll install it in Monday Night Football and see if it works too. That should be a direct copy of the Williams computer, so it probably won't, but just for giggles.
Nice. So, Dent says, what's the next step? Test GI, targets, and solenoids?
Well, really the next step is like...
Probably want to put the cover back over that fuse holders too.
Yeah, no, I'll put that back together right now. My next step for this game, I need to locate I need to locate a 6-digit gas plasma display. I also need to locate a 7-digit gas plasma display, as well as the tray that it sits in. For whatever reason, one is missing. Then it is all of the mechanical work and the cosmetic work. I'm still waiting on one of my coworkers to finish plotting the piece of Mylar I found for this game inside the cabinet. So it's an original piece of Bally cut Mylar. So once he gets that done, we're going to finish the playfield and Mylar over it so we don't lose all the paint. And then it's the rest of the normal cosmetics, right? Go in, clean, replace things that are worn out, make sure all the lights work, and play the game. That will probably take forever at the speed that I'm able to work on games. So, but we'll get it done. I'm excited to get this one done.
Well, Kyle, we're in the last 9 minutes of the show. If anyone has a question for Kyle about your current pinball repair project, feel free to drop it in the chat. And just to remind y'all, next week we are having a special presentation with Stern Pinball. We are going to be featuring the new Jurassic Park pin that was designed by Jack Danger. Yeah. And we will have Jack Danger on the show with us. And we're going to have a battle of the world's tallest streamers duking it out over PinTech Live. No. And we'll, of course, do some giveaways and good stuff like that.
Yes, on what?
The world's tallest streamers. There's only one.
World's tallest streamers. Yeah, they're like a duo.
I mean, if we're a duo, then I guess we're streamers. But okay. I mean, I guess Steve was pointing out that can really only be one world's tallest pinball streamer. Yeah, like, there can only be one Highlander. Anyways,
we'll have to have that discussion next week.
No,
so
no, I don't care.
Make sure
no, see, Jack,
join us.
We're gonna be on.
The
tall
Twin
people
Towers.
usually aren't angry. We're just gonna be like, yep.
Have you ever had a conversation with Jack before?
Yeah, I met Jack in like 2015 or 2016 when he came to the Pacific Pinball Expo in Alameda.
That was a long time ago. That was before both of y'all were famous.
I'm not famous. He's famous.
Change your last name to Danger.
No.
Oh,
Kyle
yeah.
Danger?
Let's change our last name to Kyle Danger.
No, I'm going to be Kyle Safety. Kyle,
you should wear your jean
Kyle.
Jacket.
Well, I will.
Next
no, I'm
week
gonna
get
come
street
decked
cred
out.
from.
Jack and I have the same. Well, I used to always have a denim jacket on, but in South
Your
Carolina,
really tall
it's
guys
ungodly
secretly
hot.
hate each other.
So, I want to touch on what Dent says. Dent0123. These older machines are a lot of work to get them working properly. It's a labor of love because the hours spent will never be recovered. They will not be recovered.
Absolutely.
So, this will take me dozens of hours to dial in over a long period of time. And yeah, you never will get that back. So you have to do it if you like it. You know, I don't understand how people think that they can, you know, make money by flipping games. Kyle Caution. Yeah, that's a good one.
Kyle Caution. Oh, I like it.
I'm not dangerous, but just, you know.
Kyle Caution.
Just, you
Oh
know,
my gosh, that's
abide.
amazing. My mind is blown. That's the best name ever.
No.
I'm with the moto on this one.
Yeah, Kyle
guess-
Caution.
I guess I have no
love it.
control over my own life anymore.
Or your name.
You definitely do not.
No, I mean, I guess my name is plastered all over billions of little cardboard flyers that get stuffed in boxes all the time.
Obi, they both have cool tattoos. They both got cool tattoos.
Bumper Nugget, that guy
Thank you, Bumper Nugget.
deserves a big high five. Yeah, no,
Cow
you know,
cash.
it's expensive to get these things working. You know, it's especially a dumpster game like this, right? It's there are many dozens of hours ahead of me.
I'm
and
so
it's
glad
just-
you got it working. This is like the best episode ever. It's a good comeback.
More time as we fade out.
Why are we fading out? Yeah, I'll do it while we're fading out. We have to choose someone to raid and everything first, though.
Oh yeah, I'll start choosing someone to raid.
Yeah.
And Dent, thank you for joining us, and thanks for participating in the troubleshooting. That was
Yeah.
really awesome.
Thank you, and yeah, thanks for saying I'm cool. But also, thanks
doesn't
for
hear that a lot, so
helping
he
me
really
out. You know, I'm
appreciates
glad. I'm definitely also glad that we busted out the oscilloscope as well. You know,
That was really awesome.
thanks for the
I
assistance
didn't know what
there.
was going on, but it was great.
Yeah, I mean, we can do something funny with one day, but have someone else teach you how to do that. I can teach you how to fix a pinball machine, but I can't teach you everything that involves that. So, yeah, we're gonna get. We'll go through it. We will continue using this game on this show. There's a lot that I want to use it to show because I like
Nolan,
Bally
that's
games the
a
best.
private message sort of conversation. Great.
What? Oh no, we were talking about Steve's colon the other day. Steve had his.
That's why I got a lot of angry mail being what has PinTech Live divert to
Yep,
last week.
that's fine. Hey man, we're in
Wow.
control now. We're the captains. Steve's colonoscopy went great. He's in better
Walk away and
better
it goes
spirits than
crazy.
ever, and he was not. Well, Emoto, what you did, you missed it
Oh my
when we were
gosh.
talking last week. You know, I was drinking a beverage, and Steve had a clear cup full of yellow liquid, and everyone was like, "Steve, why? You know, was that beer, Steve? What are you drinking?" And Steve's like, "No, it's apple juice. It's apple juice." And he's like, "Okay, I got to be straight. I'm gonna have this procedure, and all I can do is drink apple juice and eat Jello." He didn't hide anything. There's no. He's very upfront, and that's what makes Steve a really awesome guy.
I agree.
You know? Yay, Steve! Look at everyone.
I need some help from the chat, from the Twitch chat, of who to raid because it looks like literally no one else is streaming pinball right now.
That's the problem we had last
Except
week.
a
Also,
pinball FX3 question mark. We don't
we should
wanna watch
like
that.
just log into like a calming stream of like someone streaming like bird videos or something. I always call them silly scopes just because how can you not call it an
It's
oscilloscope?
okay, Dan.
Were they Jello shots? Nolan wants to know. I don't think they were Jello shots. I tried to peer pressure Steve into having a drink, but he would not do it. Which is, he has better resolve than I do. Just bros worried about each other's colons. They all really care for you, Steve. It really is. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, turn on the Netflix and chill.
Yeah, put on some Netflix. You guys should also watch the amazingly close Formula One championship on Sunday as it ends in Abu Dhabi as the two top drivers go in with equal amounts of points. It is a winner-takes-all situation, and it's insane. So if you like racing cars, you should tune in. I will be. Fliptronic and I are sitting there texting each other like the entire time, like, "Oh my God, you just see that?"
Oh, rabbits? Okay. I'm down
that-
with some rabbits.
Oh, rabbits? Yeah, let's do that.
Maybe.
Oh, Bunny TV. Let me see. Oh, wait, MP3K just got online.
Oh,
MP3K.
Manu, you're late. Okay.
No, he's right on
Oh,
time.
G Bunny TV is offline, but I'm definitely following for. Wait, is it really about bunnies?
And proud of who we are.
Everyone
Or
has
is it
such
like-
unique and individual style.
I can't
this
read
is
this
the
language.
Holiday style
No, this
resolution
is great.
is to stay true to who I am.
Hold on, I've got an ad still on my computer. Wow, it's a long ad. Apparently,
Oh, it
it's a
says
Twitch
live.
channel where you can feed the
Oh,
bunny.
Q Bunny.
and
Oh,
tip
I
it
was on the wrong.
by donating bits.
Oh, but Ice Skidoo just went
You
live
can pay
too.
them to feed the bunnies that you're watching.
He rushed.
Oh, oh man, I love Manu, but this is the
Wow,
kind of
this is
content
amazing.
on the
We'll
worst
follow
day
it.
will make me so happy. Aw, look at that bunny. Do you see it, Steve? Come here. No, don't watch me. Look at the bunny.
Yes, good advice, dude. Good advice.
Wait, okay, so now what does everyone think? Should we stream bunnies or should we go to Manu?
Well, I think we should go to Ice Skidoo because he was hanging out and chatting with us too, and we haven't rated him in a while.
Yeah, let's do
And
that.
he's playing Stranger Things.
Yeah, that's a good game. Look at
And
those
you know he
bunnies.
just raced to go set up because
Okay,
we
we'll
were
give-
struggling.
We'll give you all of our
And
Twitch
he's
viewers.
waiting for us. Oh yeah, go ahead and cue that final sound test for Vector, and then I will cue up our raid.
Okay, you gotta turn the bunnies off though.
And we'll get Manu next weekend.
Wait,
next
hold on.
week.
I'm gonna go turn the bunnies off. Hey, Emoto, you also might need to actually raid Ice-Skidoo from our Twitch channel and not
I
from
am.
the restream chat box. 'cause-
I am.
Okay, hold
I
on.
am.
Turn
I
the
don't
bunnies
raid
off.
from the restream chat box. That doesn't work.
Yeah, I learned that last week. Okay,
Oh.
the bunnies are
Welcome
gone.
to the party, pal.
Okay, check it out. We're gonna listen to
Thank
Vector
you,
as
Obi.
it.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And don't forget that next week we will be doing a special feature looking at the Jurassic Park pin. It's exciting. It's my size pin. Jack Danger's first lead design project with Stern Pinball. Hopefully
Yeah.
not his last.
The game rules.
And it'll be great to hang out with him.
It might be
look
small enough
inside
for me to
that
fit in
game.
my Volkswagen. It might just leave and you know.
Alright, go ahead and play
Booster
that
seat.
sound so I can raid.
Okay, I'm gonna point out though, like how silly this game says, like
Alright,
everything
I'm raiding in
multiple times.
3, 2, 1. Bye, everyone. Yeah, danger versus caution. Thanks again, Bumper Nugget. That was so funny.
Release. Energy stored. Vector triple.
Yay.
Vector scan value. Double. Vector scan value.
Listen to how
Vector
it says
scan value.
things like
Period.
multiple times, like-
Completed.
Yeah.
Y. X.
No, I know, but I
Vector.
figure it'd be like Jungle
Vector
Lord, where
scan.
we have
Defense in position. Welcome
It's
to
amazing.
Vector Dome. Stand by for Vector scan.
432.
Defenders
Oh, wait till he says hit the
down.
showers.
3 captured. 2 captured. 1 captured. For
Bye.
your Vector game plan. Play analysis
Oh, wait.
computer.
I just lost the
for
raid.
your Vector game
Oh,
plan.
I think it went.
It says it so many times.
PAC. Play analysis computer for your Vector game plan. Hit the showers. Great save.
Hit the
Shoot
showers.
for, shoot for E. Shoot for P. Shoot for Y. Shoot for H. Resume play.
Oh, they give us a
Strategy
little,
changed. Shoot
Marco
for
Christmas
vector
hats.
Scan. Shoot for hype targets. Macro.
Oh, Midge, you have a Christmas hat on Ice Skidoo's stream.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's amazing. Wow.
Thanks, Ice Skidoo.
Yay. Oh. Do we sell the trunk motor for Theater of Magic Pinball? Yes. Chiviv. We'll drop a link in the chat for that, and then we're gonna sign off. Please join us next week. I'm like hearing myself in 3 different things. Okay, here we go. Do you have that link? Drop it like it's hot. Really? I didn't see it come through. Maybe because you got sent to Ice Skidoo. Oh, I got it. All right, here you go. Thank you so much. Oh, and if you buy it this week, then you get free shipping, or if you're international, $10 off shipping. So free domestic ground shipping or $10 off international shipping for orders over $199, going up until January 15th for the holidays. So, all right, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, Kyle. Great work today. See y'all. Goodbye. The Yeah Man. Bye. Yeah.